Okay guys, welcome back to the supplement review. Some of you may remember a little while ago we reviewed Nuclear Pump from the guys at Peak Performance Labs. They're a Canadian brand, and this was their first product. Now this was a stim-free pre-workout that was designed to have performance-enhancing elements as well as pump elements. It was a really interesting formula and I really enjoyed taking this. Recently, Peak Performance Labs have released this. This is Nuclear Pre. It's their stimulant-based pre-workout, and it's a pre-workout we're going to be reviewing in this review. Now, since we shot the previous review, they've also released an updated version of Nuclear Pump, and we're going to be having a look at the difference between the two formulas. Now, as with all of our reviews, we've got an independent panel of testers who are going to be giving their thoughts on Nuclear Pre. We've also got a formula breakdown from Richard Foster, owner of Strom Sports Nutrition, and I've been taking this for a week as well, and you're going to get my thoughts. So let's go to the public. What do they have to say about Nuclear Pre?
Let's see what it tastes like. I put 300 ml of water in, as I normally do, and to be honest, it tastes a bit watery, not much there in the way of taste.
First of all, excuse this fluffy mess, not without a shower. The pre-workout mixed very well, tasted naff, pretty much nothing to it. Maybe I put too much water with it, so it was pretty bland, just kind of like diluted dishwater, not great.
I had high hopes because the pump formula was like really good, like one of the best ones I've had. So, there's nothing. Not gonna lie, it tastes kind of gross. Like, I prefer like a sour pre-workout, but this is just like nothing. I can't really pinpoint like what it tastes like. I'm not really a fan. I know like taste isn't everything, but it's not ideal. The texture of it is like kind of strange. Like, so like it mixes well, but it's got like little specks still flying around. It's not really nice. It does have like a naff texture, but hopefully I'll have a good workout. We'll see.
Okay, so this is a quick supplement review. For the supplement review, these guys, Tariq sent me over Nuclear Pre.
My thoughts on Nuclear Pre. I actually really liked it. Double scooped it, used the 2 servings, felt really good all the way through. Really good pre-workout, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. The actual effects I got off it, I liked it. But overall, really good pre-workout. Yeah, definitely one I would buy and recommend. Thank you.
So I've just come back from my session and pre-workout was alright. It was average, like literally didn't feel like anything special. I didn't feel like extra focused. I didn't feel like super energized, and I'm pretty sure those are the 2 main selling points for this pre-workout. I guess a positive is that like this didn't like repress my appetite, nor did like I have a downer afterwards, so I can get on my day. But not a fan. I wouldn't really pay for it, not gonna lie. Definitely had better. Like, and it's such a shame because I think the pump formula was so good, so this was a bit of a disappointment compared to it. Yeah.
Performance-wise, it gave pretty good pumps, focus and strength, good energy throughout. No problems there. Everything performed exactly as I expected it to. It just didn't give me that massive kick that a lot of sort of stronger pre's do, which was actually quite nice for a change. It was just a nice sustained level of energy rather than that huge kick up the arse that some give. So all in all, pretty good.
The second workout, when I took the Nuclear Pre, I was doing a larger volume squat session. I got a bit of a kind of itch from the beta-alanine, probably, I guess is in there, but it did help me through the workout. If I had to pick, I would pick the Nuclear Pre, but that's more fit for purpose for me because I do competitive disability strongman. Whatever is in that, still felt the stimulant side of it. However, it just seemed more level, and I probably metabolized it because I had quite a hard volume session, so I had no real after effects. But thanks, Tariq.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I've been taking this for a week and I wanted to give my thoughts as well. I want to say right out of the bat, this is a really well-dosed product. It's been put together with a lot of thought and care. There's some very interesting inclusions that you're going to hear Rick from Strom talk about. But personally, it's not strong enough for what I need from a pre-workout. I was blown away when I first took Nuclear Pump. It was one of my favorite stim-free pre-workouts. It's featured on a bunch of my lists. I think you've seen it on the main page on Instagram. I was expecting really, really big things from Nuclear Pre. And I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest. Now, I think in part that's due to the fact that I really like heavy-hitting pre-workouts. I was a big fan of Atomic Bomb, I like StimiMax Black Edition, MV Pre 2.0, those kind of really grab you by the scruff of the neck pre-workouts. This is a lot more mild, and I think that was reflected in the feedback we got from our public testers. Now, it's not a bad pre-workout by any stretch of the imagination. There's a really interesting blend in here that we're going to hear about from Richard, but for my money, it wasn't strong enough to be something that I would use every day. So who would benefit from this? I think if you're somebody that is looking for a daily driver that is mid to low strength, then I would recommend it. If you're looking for somebody that wants an all-in-one without too many hard-hitting stims, again, I think it's a good one, or a good one for people who are perhaps new to pre-workout. They want something solid and well-dosed. By no stretch of the imagination is this a bad product, but what's in Nuclear Pre? For that, we turn to Richard Foster, owner of Strom Sports Nutrition, to break down the formula of Nuclear Pre.
Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Richard Foster from Strom, and this week Tariq from the Supplement Review has asked me to have a look at Nuclear Pre by Peak Performance Labs. Now, straight out the bat, I'm going to say this is a non-compliant formula, so it's not EU compliant. It contains 200 milligrams of 30% extract citrus aurantium. Citrus aurantium contains synephrine alkaloids, so it has a very similar but slightly different mechanism to ephedrine, which is banned AF. Like with all these things, it's worth bearing in mind that these things are generally banned for a reason. It's a very powerful stimulant that can cause heart arrhythmia in people. That said, the product is generally very well dosed. What it does do, it does well. You only get 20 servings in a tub, so kind of £1.50 a serving, and that gives you 8 grams of pure L-citrulline, 3,200 milligrams of beta-alanine, 2,500 milligrams of betaine anhydrous. Betaine anhydrous, for those of you who don't know, will help with power and strength. 2,000 milligrams of glycosides, which is patented glycerol. Using a patented version guarantees you, particularly like in the case of glycosides, that 65% of that powder will be glycerol by weight, and the rest will be the molecules used to hold it in a powder form, effectively. So that's good. 2,000 milligrams of straight tyrosine. That is the preferred choice by most for improving focus. It improves blood serum levels of tyrosine more than macro tyrosine. 1,500 milligrams of taurine and osmolite helps with performance. L-carnitine, L-tartrate. So L-carnitine is involved in fat oxidation. It's also involved in energy production. L-tartrate, back when I was a very obsessive bodybuilder, is the version I would choose to use more if I wanted an energy boost in physical exercise when my calories were very low. Its effects are very minimal, to be honest, in that regard, but it does have a curious effect of upregulating androgen receptors. Again, probably not something you're going to notice anything from directly. 300 milligrams of caffeine, so the upper end of what I like to see, but still very much in that kind of Goldilocks zone of 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine. If you need more than 300 milligrams of caffeine in a product to get a kick, I would suggest that there is perhaps something in the way the rest of the product is laid out that is lacking. You shouldn't need more than 300 milligrams of caffeine. There are lots of other options for stimulants like citrus aurantium, we've already discussed. You get 200 milligrams of that, so 30% of 200 milligrams is going to yield 60 milligrams roughly of synephrine alkaloids. L-theanine helps prevent crash, and then 10 milligrams of black pepper extract. Black pepper extract inhibits an enzyme in your urinary tract that's responsible for excreting things, so it tends to make things last longer in your system. I personally don't like black pepper extract in a pre-workout because it can make the product take longer to leave my system and therefore affect my sleep more. That is a personal thing to me. I'm not saying that's something that everybody struggles with. So all in all, a probably very good, very well dosed product that is unfortunately non-compliant in the EU, that will give you a good pump, it will assist in the augmentation of strength, and will have a good stimulatory effect. 24 grams serving, there is a little bit of maltodextrin in there. In terms of inactive ingredients, that's often used to take the harsh edge off the flavours of things. I haven't tried this myself. Citrus aurantium can sometimes give a poor flavour profile, so that's probably why the maltodextrin is in there. And I believe you can get it from Insight.
Okay, thank you very much, Rick. So that's it. You've heard from the public, you've heard from me, and you've heard from Mr. Foster. overall, it's a solid product. It's well put together. It's well dosed. It's just a little bit weak for my money. So where does it rank on our leaderboards? I'm going to put it on the strength board about here. For my money, it isn't particularly strong, but again, the demographic that they're after, I suspect, doesn't want that kind of strong pre-workout, so no bad thing to be down here on the strength board. The overall board, however, I'm going to put it about here, because it's really well dosed in terms of its pump ingredients. There's some interesting choices ingredient-wise. So if you like the brand, if you want to support them, if you're looking for something that isn't as strong as a lot of the other stuff out there on the market, it's definitely one to consider. The guys at Insight Subs are carrying the whole Peak Performance Labs range. That's Nuclear Gains, which is their Intra, Nuclear Pump, which is the Pump Stim Free, and Nuclear Pre, which is the Stim Pre-Workout. Now, at the end of this video, we've also got a little bit of a bonus because we've got a side-by-side comparison of the new formula of Nuclear Pump. So this is the original formula Nuclear Pump. It's the one that we shot Lord of the Pumps tournament with, and this is the new Nuclear Pump. Now, what I'm going to do is flash up both panels on the screen now, and I'm going to take you guys through line by line, and we're going to work out what's changed. So let's have a look at the new formula. L-citrulline remains the same at 8 grams, which is a massive dose. Creatine monohydrate is the first ingredient that's been dropped. So 5 grams in the old formula, it's absent from the new formula entirely. Glycopump was the old formula, 3 grams. That's been replaced by Glycosize, both of which are patented forms of glycerol, 3 grams, so the dosages remain the same. Both formulas contain 3 grams of L-tyrosine. Both formulas contain 1.5 grams of nitrosine. The old formula contains 600 milligrams of alpha-size, which is the patented form of alpha-GPC. That's been increased to 700 milligrams of a generic alpha-GPC. And again, there's nothing wrong with using the base version and not the patented version. A lot of the times there's very little difference between the products, and increasing the dose means actually you're getting more nootropics in the new formula than you would have done in the old one. Now, Vaso-6 and Norvaline are both ingredients that have been dropped. Now, both of those are quite expensive, and I imagine they've been dropped to make the product more financially viable, but you do have the inclusion now of Beta Vulgaris at a gram, which is a great inclusion and a great dose. Taurine at a gram, and again, taurine's an osmolite, so it's another ingredient in there that's going to help with the pump. You've got an increase of sodium, so pink Himalayan sea salt has gone up 150 milligrams to 300 milligrams, and you've also got the inclusion of pine bark extract at 250 milligrams, and you'll recognize that as an ingredient. I think it's in Quartz Inflate, if I'm not mistaken. Again, another great ingredient. The serving size has also gone up from 23 grams to 25 grams. So I imagine a lot of those changes have been done to make the product more financially viable. Now, I've been trying it this week. It's still a great product. You've still got that really nice blend of pump ingredients and nootropics. Very stackable with something that's stim base only, so dark side or stim head. This was one of my favorites. It's still a good product. I can understand why they made the changes between them, so it's a matter for you guys as to whether or not you think the new formula stacks up to the old formula. A couple of things dropped, a couple of new things, both great formulas. Be interesting to see what you guys think in the comments about the new formula for Nuclear Pump. Huge thank you to Peak Performance Labs for sending me these products to test. We'll definitely be working with them again in the future. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.
Still sipping on that syrup. Police ride by, man, we still flick on birds.